Man, get up here in the Zoloft to get your head right.
All right, y'all, it's time to do an impromptu dose from the Zoloft. Hey, I hope you guys this week has been going groovy, man. And here we are at Hump Day, and as usual, man, I hope it launches you into an even better part of your week. And hey, what better way to boost the mood and yuck it up about the groovy is about getting a butt whipping. We can all sit around and we can laugh about them butt whoopings, man, when we got when we was kids, man. So we Gen Xers, man. That's sometimes for a lot of Gen Xers, that's the only time you saw your pillow. We was latchkey kids, man. So we was feral and sometimes the real saying we needed to get that butt whooping. But that was also the generation, man, where it was it was time for time out. Man. Okay, listen. We gonna get into it. We'll get into the nitty gritties of that stuff. But time out, taking away privileges and all that sort of stuff. Man, I'm just gonna step on some toes here, man. I don't know about that way to raise your kids, man. Is the Gen X? We really dropped. We wonder what happened to this generation, like with Gen Z and the millennials and whatnot. Is pretty much because we're the generation that kind of took off with the whole time out and taking away privileges and all that sort of stuff and chores. No, the word of God says, man, bust out that rod. Unless you want your kid to be messed up, man, you're gonna have to pull out the belt. You're gonna have to pull out the rod. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to put in work. And but no, that we've decided there's a better way in time. It's like you're gonna do chores. Chores is like making your kid. I remember when I was teaching martial arts, man. When they had to do some chores, make sure to keep the school clean and stuff like that. I had one student ask me, "Are we on punishment?" I'm like, "What do you mean? Are you on punishment?" It was one of the beginners. Like, no, you're not on punishment. It's a blessing to have a clean school. You want to have a school that's clean and that's an environment where it's like the space is clean, your mind is clean, your movements are clean, everything like that. You know what I'm saying? So but we've kind of got this thing where it's like you're gonna punish somebody by making them do chores. No, man, give them a whooping. Don't make them do chores. Why do you think people have such a bad work ethic? Why do you think people associate chores as doing work as something bad? You have a lot of people out there that don't want to work, and they associate doing work with something negative, right? You blessed if you can find a job, but we treat job like chores and stuff like that as a punishment, or you gonna take away their privileges. Why do you think people have such a negative attitude towards the privilege now? It's like, hey, you're privileged, you need to check your privilege. Why do you think they have such a negative attitude towards it? Because we use privileges to punish people or taking away their privileges. That's not how you roll, man. You got to bust out with that belt. Associate the punishment with pain. You know what I'm saying? Not trying to sound like a sadist or anything like that, but at the same time also, when you got parents that the only time they pay attention to their kids is when they're angry and they use their kids as an outlet, well then yeah, you're gonna have people who are gonna have a negative attitude towards that too, man. You gotta have positive reinforcement and all that sort of stuff. You don't just pay attention to your kids when it's time to beat them. You know what I'm saying? So all that to say, y'all, with this right here, coming back to this, a young man went out, and thought he would do some thug life stuff, and stole somebody's pants, stole this dude's pants, and this pants happened to have his wallet and his ID and credit cards and money and stuff in it, and whatnot. He stole his pants, and he got caught. This young man got caught. I was like 14 or something like that, and and so the dude's like, okay, you caught, man. I'm gonna give you a choice. We can go ahead, we can go tell your mama, or you go ahead, just let me, I guess his mom done found out anyway, because it's on the YouTube. It's like, look, man, I guess this video gone viral. I don't know what kind of secrets he was gonna try to keep from his mama. But I guess, he decided, I'm gonna go ahead and whoop you, right? I'm gonna whoop you in front of everybody. What do you guys think? Is that a no-no, or did he do the right thing? Because, it ain't like I'm pretty sure the dude wasn't worried about his daddy doing anything about his kid. Probably doesn't know who his dad is, or his dad doesn't care. He's probably checked out or whichever. It's like, look, since your father ain't disciplining you and you going around stealing stuff, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna discipline you, right? And but here's the thing, for real, y'all. Notice that the kid was like, I'd rather take this whooping from this stranger that I stole from than to face my mother. All right. And y'all in the black community, man, it's like, y'all, we hear these things about the angry black female and stuff like that. A lot of these single moms take their issues out on their deadbeat of their fathers who checked out, who left them with this kid and stuff like that, didn't stick around to raise them and all that sort of stuff. And the mother is angry. And a lot of times that anger is taken out on that kid. And so that kid at home, it's like, it may not be an issue that he's never got a whooping. I'm pretty sure his mom is angry at him a lot because she's angry at the dad and angry about a whole other stuff. And the kid usually becomes an outlet for that. And people wonder why a lot of young black men and black girls are angry, because they have angry single mothers as parents. All right. And that's the way the Democrats like it. Okay, the Democrats have done that for years, but you got these people out there who think that just black people are just inherently violent and angry and stuff like that. No, the Democrats have made sure that it stays this way. They want to keep this narrative alive. All right, that's how they want to keep it. But so this kid is like, I'll just go ahead and take the whooping. I'm not afraid of I'm not really afraid of a whooping per se. I got an angry mom at home, so, I'd rather go ahead and just deal with you. Not that the whooping didn't hurt, but it's like, I'd still prefer that, to this. So, the dude goes ahead and he whoops this kid and lets him, and after which did the right thing, gave him positive reinforcement. He didn't just whoop him and say, now get out of here, It's not that. It's like, look, man, I'm gonna give you my number. You call me. I'm gonna be a big brother to you, right? These are a lot of times. These are the things that's missed from the whooping. All right, it's like you can't just whoop him and okay, now I've satisfied my vent of anger. I'm mad at you, right? And I'm mad about a whole bunch of other stuff, and I'm gonna take it out on you. All right, no, what's like this? Look, man, you gonna need some guidance, man. It's like I'm gonna be a big brother to you. Let me know. You call me, man. Stay in touch with me. I'm gonna keep tabs on you. See, that's how you follow that stuff up. See, now the kid feels he feels valued. He does feel loved. And as the Lord says, man, I chastise those you love. You step out of line, I'm gonna handle you. Right? But but at the same time, I'm gonna lavish you with love. I want you to know that you're valued. And as a person who loves and values you, I can't just let you do whatever you want. That's not love. It's not love to just let you do whatever you want and there's no consequences of doing that sort of stuff. You end up raising a little tyrant is what you end up doing. So he's like, I'm not. But unfortunately, the dude's cussing at him and stuff like that. It's like, look, man, you're basically you're performing surgery with a dirty knife. Okay, if you're gonna do surgery, keep it clean. Okay, it's like if you sow profanity into what you're trying to teach them, you gonna reap some of that profanity too, and it's counterproductive. All right, you want to make sure that you keep it clean. So and on a side note, y'all, we got this thing like in black culture where we pride ourselves. It's like, I hate using the word pride because pride is just poison. But you got a lot of in black culture is a pride about getting a whooping. We beat our kid, like Steve Harvey be out there talking about bragging like how in black culture we beat our kids, we beat the F out of our kids, we beat our kids, right? And I'm like, gee, you wonder why you have so many insecure, angry, black, kids who grow up to be adults and then pass that on to their kids. It's that's not something to boast about. And not only that, make it like that's just, when we see a black woman beating her kids, we start beating our kids too. Like that's something like, exclusive to black culture. No, that's pretty much every culture does that. You can even find old videos of Monty Python where they do sketches about stuff like that. It's like they be the ladies, the dudes dressed up as ladies, be talking about, stuff and they got kids that they're holding on to. Trying to keep them from acting up and stuff like that, and they turn around and smack their kid, and the other parent takes a cue for that, and the kid wasn't even doing nothing to turn around and smack her kid. I mean, cultures do that. That's not something that's exclusive to black cultures and getting a whooping and all that sort of stuff. Heck, man, in white culture, they love to gather around, man, and say, hey, there's gonna be a whooping. There's gonna be they like to gather. They bring the kids for that. You see that? You want some of that? They gather around for the whipping, man. They gather around for that, for the whooping, for the hanging, for the burning at the stake, all that sort of stuff. They gather around for that stuff, right? And they'd be like, you see that? You want some? So all cultures do that, man. But, a lot of times we try to make like it's just black culture. That's just all about, we beat our kids, we whoop our kids. And like, no, dude, that's like trying to say that, oh yeah, black folks love chicken. It's like everybody loves fried chicken, dude. Anyway, so what do you guys think, man? I'd love to see your comments in the feedback section, and thank you guys for, if you tuned in for the chat, Thank you guys so much, man, for still hanging in there with me. BronzeSerpentMedia.com. Forgive me for not engaging in the chat as much. I'm just trying to do it, hit it and quit it. You guys already heard about what's going on, and but it's a blessing to see you guys here. And we want to keep the fellowship going, and hopefully you guys will join us at the powwows over at BronzeSerpentMedia.com. Tune in for that. Get the, I don't have my mugs with me, but you know what the mugs look like. They sexy, get them. And the shirts and all that sort of stuff. And drop that buck in the bucket to keep Brozo on the go and all that sort of stuff. So blessings to y'all from here at Bronze Serpent Media, me and the womans and all that sort of stuff. And we'll talk again soon. All right, y'all, bye. Where's my buy button at? I did it again, man. I'm missing one.